Let's just move that down. Oh no, but we can't see. That's all right. That's all right, because then you can see.
Hi guys.
Hi
guys. Welcome. If anybody is watching, please let us know where you're from. My name is Emily, and I'm from Cambridge in the UK.
My name is Gabriel. I'm from Birmingham, also in the UK. And we're currently at the school at the Ponte Lungo School in Rome. So please tell us where you're from. We'd like to know.
And today we thought we would talk about Armageddon, but a different Armageddon.
Different style of Armageddon.
We'll distract ourselves from our current potential Armageddon by imagining if things were much worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Should we leap in? We've got our one viewer.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got two viewers.
Two.
Yeah, guys, please tell us where you're from. If you can type, if you can write, please tell us where you're from. Okay, so Armageddon. Ooh.
Hi, Filippo.
Rimini. Hi, Filippo. Okay, so today we're looking at Armageddon, future perfect, describing a disaster, and predictions.
Okay.
Particularly predictions using the future perfect again.
Yeah. Okay. What is the apocalypse?
The apocalypse is the end of the world, isn't it? Or the end of human civilization, I think, as we know it to some extent. What does the apocalypse mean to you?
Yeah, I think that's true. I think the end of humanity, but I think it has to come in the form of some big dramatic disaster. If humans were just to slowly peter out, I don't think it would be the apocalypse.
It has to be sudden.
Maybe within one generation it all has to take place.
Okay. Okay.
For it to count as the apocalypse. Although no one would be there afterwards to say if
it's the apocalypse or not. Well, you might have some stragglers, I don't know. It's the idea of, I think, society crumbling though as well, isn't it? Because you often have post-apocalyptic.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm not sure why I'm doing this so much. I kind of agree with that term, but post-apocalyptic survivors and that kind of thing, I think. That's what we're looking at. What events do you think could cause an apocalypse? Please write, guys.
Yeah, the students can tell us. What events could cause an apocalypse? Yeah, events distinct from the situation we're in now.
The current one.
Yeah. What other events could cause an apocalypse?
I've got 6. Early. It's good for fairly early on.
So please write to us, guys. We're looking at the question, what events do you think could cause an apocalypse? And we want to have your answers before we go on. I guess we could give some answers while they're writing.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. You agree on a slow decline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another world war.
With atomic bombs.
Yeah,
that would definitely be a nuclear apocalypse.
An amount of systemic crisis.
Okay. I think maybe Filippo is still talking about how you can define
the apocalypse. Yeah. What else do we think, guys? So nuclear holocaust, that kind of deal. Yeah.
From the Jacko.
The Jacko. Yeah.
Could have Another big important one is climate change.
Yeah.
Could cause a sort of apocalypse.
That's the kind of one generation one potentially, or that's the irreversible one, isn't it? But slightly more of a slow decline than. Although things are speeding up, of course. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, climate change, like Philippa said, or another epidemic.
Yeah, let me write that.
Mm.
So, epidemic.
Just gonna blow my nose off screen.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good to be breaking me.
Yeah. So, Jacobo.
Jacobo.
Oh, Jacobo.
Okay, Jacobo.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I quite like the Jacko.
The
there.
Jacko knows one. Yeah. Asteroid. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. We could go the way of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we move on to the next one? What do you think would happen to the world if most of the humans were gone?
I think there would be a lot of good effects
Yeah, it's true.
for nature and for the development of other animal species in general.
In terms of biodiversity, it's probably a good thing. Isn't
Yeah.
It? It gives a chance for.
Yeah, and then in a few years, maybe the monkeys would evolve again, or maybe another animal would evolve into being the most intelligent, and then would take over just like we did,
That's
and then
interesting.
destroy themselves, and it would be a cycle.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be the octopuses. Maybe there'd be a
supermarine race called. Yeah.
And you guys, let us know also. Any question, we want to hear your answers as well as our answers. So any other ideas?
The world would heal. Yeah.
Yeah,
Will
good.
heal itself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really nice idea, Jacopo. The only thing is, the world is not a person, so it doesn't have a gender. We would say it would heal itself. I probably don't need to write that.
Yeah.
Rather than himself.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen to the last? Because I think in any large-scale event, maybe at the end of human existence, there would probably be some survivors of sorts. What do you think they would do?
I think they would go back to something much closer to the start of human communities, which would be hunting and gathering and basic farming.
Basic agriculture, yeah.
Probably agriculture rather than hunting and gathering, actually.
And also they would probably be limited to certain areas of the world by that time, particularly if it's climate change or something like that. They're going to be limited to certain parts of the northern hemisphere. Yeah.
I'm just going to close my window because I don't want the noise coming in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yes. If you're the only one on the planet, Jacopo, or if you're in a very small community, a very small community of human survivors, what do you think you would do, or
how would
your
you
community
live?
would do?
Yeah. So we were talking about maybe people would have to farm their own food, produce their own food, by agriculture. It's a cheery subject.
You'd have allotments. Post-apocalyptic allotments.
Okay. What would you do if civilization was destroyed by a catastrophe?
I think that's the same question.
It's kind of, yeah.
It's
the same as number 3.
Yeah.
I think in the meantime, I would panic. I would not be one of those calm, reasonable people
who took a leadership kind of role. He would be the one in the corner getting drunk, going, no, there's so
Terrible
much,
idea.
there's so much to live for. Probably I would try to do something that you
that's a nice idea. Maybe there are a lot less consequences in this situation.
That's true.
Yeah, the world would be a more unfriendly place. Yeah, possibly. Maybe the competition for fewer resources
would
could
create
cause
conflicts in some manner.
Yeah.
And after that, I think I'd kill myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's an idea, definitely.
Yeah, good point. We'd probably just use the superlative in that sentence. So you'd probably say, I'd kill myself in the best way that I can.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect sentence. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. Good. Absolutely.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
And stuff.
Okay. Some vocabulary. I'll read the definitions.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can go through together.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can start thinking about how to connect the words on the left with the definitions. Oh yeah, okay, cool. A city that has been completely abandoned. To leave a dangerous place. Land that is uninhabitable and devastated. When a disease enters someone's body. A person who lives through a disaster. To degrade or decompose. To grow in an uncontrolled way. So then we'll start with wasteland as the first piece of vocabulary, the first word. We could say, so we have 7 words, 7 definitions. For wasteland, you can give us the number. So a city would be number 1, and then to grow in an uncontrolled way, number 7.
It would be number 7, yeah.
So you can tell us wasteland plus a number for what you think is the answer. And I think this part of the word could be a clue. Yeah, good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, that's
well
good
done,
from Filippo. Yeah, 3, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Evacuate. Yes.
Yeah.
Filippo's
got it. To leave
a dangerous place. Yeah. What about ghost town?
Yeah. Good.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Decay.
So this is a verb. So Jacobus.
Yeah, well done, Jacopo.
For ghost town. Yeah, great. Yeah. Actually, no. Oh, 6.
Yeah,
6.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I was looking at number 7.
Yeah. To
yes,
degrade
6.
or decompose. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Filippo's on it.
Survive.
Maybe we should slow down a little and let other people put their answers too. But Filippo, that's really good. Decay is something. Actually, I was going to say that food can decay, but it's not really the word that we would use for food.
Decompose. You would use for, I think, all organic matter, don't you, generally?
Yeah.
Including food. Decay, for me, is definitely more bodies and things like that, I think. More kind of animate life forms, in a way. I don't know.
But yeah. I think inanimate things can decay as well. So a building decays.
But we don't use it with food, really, do we?
No, not with food. I don't think that was right. But a building.
Yes, a
can
building can
decay.
also decay. Yeah.
We could say the city
But
decayed
I wonder
during the over some years.
Yeah. I wonder if that's like the city is almost like a figurative life form though as well, or a building as a.
I think it could be, but it's not.
No, it's just I find it interesting how we don't use it for food necessarily.
Yeah.
But
even something non-physical could decay, like a relationship can decay, can't it? Okay. Well, Filippo's given us all the answers, which is fantastic. So, survivor. What do we have? Number 5.
Person who lives in disaster. Yeah. Infect. Disease enters somebody's body.
Let's move past this one. Overgrow.
To grow in an uncontrolled way.
Yeah. To grow too much.
Yeah.
Often when you have over as a prefix to a word, it means too much in English. So to overthink means to think too much about something. Or to
overdo.
To overdo, yeah.
To do something too much, I think.
Yeah.
Or to practice too much.
Yeah.
Or overestimate. To
estimate too highly.
To estimate too highly, effectively.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any others.
That's good. That's probably good.
Yeah. Good.
Should we? I might. Can you tell us, guys, which 4 words are verbs in the list? Most of them you can see with that, but one of them doesn't have it. So, which 4 words are verbs?
One of them can also be a noun as well. Not in this context, but infect, good. Overgrow, decay, evacuate. Yeah, great job. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Decay can also be
you're
a noun
right.
too. You could say the decay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The decay of this city is bigger than this city. Yeah. Very true. Okay, so now we need to put the vocabulary into the sentences. Should we read without the space?
Yeah.
And then they can give us that piece of vocabulary.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So in 1986, the town of Pripyat was after an explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
So we need to also adapt the word for the context. So if you think we need a verb here, then you might have to change the verb for the structure of the sentence. Change the grammar of the verb. If it's a noun, then it can't change. But and this is a true story of Chernobyl. Did you watch that TV show called Chernobyl?
No, I haven't actually. No, I haven't.
It was very good.
Is it about the disaster, or is it about the aftermath? Well,
both.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But the immediate aftermath. And Filippo is correct.
Evacuated.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Was evacuated. And good. He's changed the word into the past participle because it's a passive sentence. On that's a good question. I think it was HBO. I think it was an HBO production. But the title was Chernobyl, just as it's written on the screen. So if you put in Google Chernobyl TV show, you can find out.
They showed the area in the last David Attenborough series.
Oh, right.
And they showed, because it's been completely abandoned, of course, and has been for some decades, there are certain animal species that are beginning to retake it. And it's kind of healing. It's beginning to heal.
Yeah.
It's really
you can visit. My sister has visited.
She visited?
Yeah.
How do you go in with
a guide? Yeah.
Like a radiation?
You don't need a suit.
No, but like a radiometer and stuff.
Yeah. And she said they were walking around with is it a radio? What's the other name for it? The crackly thing. Anyway, with one of those machines, and she said the guide was walking around as close to Chernobyl. I didn't watch it on an Italian network. I watched it online. I streamed the TV show Chernobyl. So I'm responding to Philippe on that. And the guide would go up to a rock and point the crackly thing at the rock, and it would go.
And you go, no, let's leave that.
Moving on.
Wow.
Okay.
Amazing experience. So surreal.
Yeah. She said Kiev was a great town.
Yeah.
Okay, should I read the next bit?
Town. I like the phrase "town" for Kiev. It's
almost an American phrase talking
city.
about. It's like an American talking about New York. Which is a swell town.
Yeah. Down in the village, New York. Sky Atlantic. Jaco process.
Ah, cool. I definitely didn't watch it on Sky, but I can't remember how I watched it. Oh, it's
Tony.
Hi, Antonio. That's one of our students. Okay, cool. But it's a really good TV show if you're interested, and it's in English. I think it was a British production. Okay, Tony. I'm afraid it's more gap fill, which we know is your favorite. The area was declared an exclusion zone. The city is now while the surrounding countryside has become unusable for farming. So we have two articles. We have something and something. So that will give you a clue for the type of word we need grammatically. Yeah, good. Felipe's right. The city is now a ghost town. Sorry, yes, you do. I've been talking.
No, that's fine. It's now a ghost town, while the surrounding countryside has become a wasteland, unusable for farming.
Yeah, and Antonio, that's no problem. On the slide before you arrived, we were looking at the definitions of these words. So you missed the bit where we looked about the meaning. We can talk about that again quickly when we finish the activity.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the next sentence. After sitting unused for nearly 30 years, the buildings are and the forest has started to the city.
And again, careful with your grammar. So give us the answer, but also give us the answer in the correct form.
That could be a tricky past participle as well.
Wow. It's not past participle.
No, it's not. Hang on.
But it would.
No, wait. I'm just on the wrong word. It's fine. Sorry.
Okay, Filippo, you've got the right words. What's the... Oh, I see. So he's made it passive. Yeah. That's interesting. So for decay is definitely the correct verb for this position. And it's interesting that you've used the past participles. The buildings are decayed. I was thinking of a different tense.
Yeah.
As I was thinking of a tense which is still in course today. It's still
It's a process. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah. After sitting unused. So it's to sit is what we do in our chair, literally. This is a kind of figurative way, and it means remaining. After remaining unused for nearly 30 years. So I think the buildings are decayed. This is a good.
I think that's kind of what I was doing as well, a little bit as well. Yeah, I think that's still valid.
I think it's valid, yeah. So my instinct was to use decaying.
Yeah.
Because they are decaying still today.
I think what you've written though, Filippo, is right as well. I think we can also have decayed there too.
Yeah.
Because that's what the course I was going down as well.
Ah.
But I see decaying in the sense that it's still in motion. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the answer is probably with the present continuous.
Probably decay.
Yeah. But a passive, and the difference would be if the buildings are decayed, the action is finished. The progress, the process is finished. They are decayed today, and if they are decaying, it's in course today.
It will
so
go on
it's
into
not
the future
finished,
as
but
well.
it's and started to overgrow the city. Perfect. Good. Do you want to read the next one?
Yep. Some of the were by the radiation and became sick or died. Experts predict that in approximately 200 years, the radiation will have subsided to habitable levels. We might look it up as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be fun to do this.
So what about hair? What do we need in here? Yeah. Oh, good. Thanks, Alessandro. Good to meet you. And it's a very small difference, but technically Alessandro's answer is the best because he's got survivors, plural.
Also with were, we would need survivors as well because it is a plural.
Yeah. Were infected. Very nice.
Radiation.
There's another passive verb.
Yes.
Is infect the right verb for radiation? Does radiation infect you?
Infection is more disease related.
Yeah.
It's not about. I suppose you can be I would say poisoned. Because
Yeah.
you have radiation poisoning, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're poisoned by the radiation, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And this word subsided. I've been asked this before, I think. Subsided effectively just means the level of something has reduced, has fallen. It's come down to habitable levels, as it says here.
Yeah.
Just in case that was.
Yeah, to subside. And guys, before we continue, what is this tense? So this is something different to the other tenses in the paragraph. We have will plus have plus past participle. So what's the name of that tense, of that structure? If anybody knows the answer. I'm just going to have some. Will have subsided in approximately 200 years. Yes.
Yeah. Well done, Philippe or Alessandro.
Very good.
Future perfect. Exactly.
Nope. Oh, it's the same.
This is the same.
Oh,
I
think we might
exactly.
have preempted.
That's okay. I think so.
Okay. There we go.
Perfect.
Cool. Okay. So you guys, when you answer, please give us a
full sentence.
Yeah.
Firstly, and make sure you're using this form, this future perfect form. Whoops. Hey.
Back.
Excuse me.
Click.
Technical issues. This subject plus will have plus past participle, as is highlighted here.
Yeah. So when do you think the following things will have happened? Use the future perfect in your answer. Before you start writing, we should talk about when we use the future perfect. And I would usually say we take a point in the future and then we look back and we're looking at an action that happens between today and some future point. We don't know when exactly, but in our example, we've got, they've changed it, but by approximately 2216.
Okay.
So
I think that's 200 years from now, isn't it? I think that's when it was written. So you can either have by this date, or you could say something like 200 years from now, in 200 years' time. Either way, yeah, as Emily was saying, you're looking back from that fixed point in the future.
Yeah. So we don't know exactly when the radiation will subside, but we think that it will have subsided by 2216, which is before 2216. Okay. So the government to open the exclusion zone. Write us the sentence. When do you think this will have happened? I guess you can make examples from all of these. People return to the area. The fields become usable. The city to be repaired. The power plant to be reopened. That would be interesting if that ever happens.
human idiots of the future deciding. Did you see there was a plan developed by some, I think it was Swedish scientists, in the event of a nuclear apocalypse that and all human civilization is wiped out, that we could genetically modify cats to change colour when they go near nuclear waste silos and things.
Huh.
That, like, if we try to bury our nuclear waste or if there was a nuclear kind of zone of exclusion to warn future civilizations, we could genetically modify cats.
I love the idea that if we're going to genetically modify a cat to tell us, we're going to make it change colour. That's
the idea is you have to think beyond language and the process of any communication, beyond the possibility of visually seeing a cat turn, I don't know, green.
Yeah, it'd have to be an unnatural colour, because if a cat goes from orange to brown,
yeah.
Okay, we have some good sentences.
So Filippo, the government will have,
like in the question,
will have opened the exclusion zone in 2200, 2200, I think.
Yeah. I think maybe Filippo's thinking that because the government is third person, we won't have, but we have will. Will is a modal verb.
So we just stick the bare infinitive after it, have.
Yeah.
But yeah, the logic there is
Yeah, we can see your logic.
Yeah.
And by these dates are strange. 2220, the government will have opened the great.
The exclusion thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the other options here? Do you guys think that the power plant will ever have been reopened? And if you think it won't happen, then you can tell us with a negative sentence. People will have returned to the area in 2020. That's good. Yeah. Will have returned. Yeah, we would probably say by 2020.
Because again, as Emily was saying earlier, you don't know if it's happened necessarily. You don't know in that period of time, looking back from 2220, when it's happened necessarily. It's merely the fact that by that point,
which is
the
before.
event has happened. It's before, so it's not. We probably wouldn't use in 2220, but by, yeah. But yeah, people will have returned to the area by 2220.
Yeah, or before 2220. But it's confusing because we would say in 200 years. Because when we give a period, the length of a period like that, in 200 years, we're describing not a specific year, but the next 200 years. So, we'll have returned to the area by 2220, or we'll have returned to the area in 200 years. I
Prepositions.
know.
It's just a nightmare.
And then if you're talking about the past, we use different prepositions.
Yeah. But they have good Italian. That's complicated. It's the same. Basically, all of them. Yeah.
Prepositions are always horrible.
Always
learning
annoying.
A language.
Yeah, and they change for no apparent reason as well in certain points, I feel.
Yeah, they're very illogical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
The fields will have become usable by 2250.
Yeah, that's great.
Excellent.
Filippo.
Yeah.
Become, became, become. So that's the right past participle.
Yeah, perfect. What about the final two? The city to be repaired and the power plant to be reopened.
And come on, Antonio. We know you're there.
Yeah.
Give us a sentence. Future perfect.
We want some future perfects, Tony.
Very
Excellent. Good. The city will have been repaired by 2210.
Really nice.
I don't know. Maybe with this example as well, we could try and incorporate a negative in some way. I don't know. I would hope, but but a negative in some way. I don't know if.
Yeah, I think for the last one, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a sentence with never. We could make.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You could either make the future perfect negative, or you could use never.
Because
and we can start with we hope.
We hope that yes.
The power plant.
Morning groan. Excellent. Yeah.
Really good, Filippo.
The power plant will have been reopened by 2230, but just like a museum.
Yeah. So that's a really great sentence. There's one little thing that I want to talk about, which is a very common error with Italians, is that the word come in Italian has several meanings in English, more than one meaning. And it often means like, which you've written, and it often means as. And like, I'm going to type for you, it means similar to or for example. So we could say, I am like my sister. I'm similar to my sister. Or I could say, I have 10 cats like my cat Bob.
Snuffle Bob. For example, my cat Bob.
Yeah. But as, which we always translate as comma, means in the capacity. I can type in the capacity of. So I think in your sentence, we would say, as a museum, the power plant will have been reopened by 2230, but just as a museum, not as a functioning power plant.
Yeah.
So, and another example would be, I work as a teacher in the capacity of a teacher. I hope that's clear. It's a very, very small thing, but it's quite a common confusion, so we might as well tell you.
But really good example, excellent, yeah.
Yeah, really nice idea. Yeah. Okay, good. So, yeah, I was thinking of giving that last one as a negative sentence. So I would probably say, we hope the power plant won't have been reopened in 200 years.
In 200 years.
Or ever.
Or ever, yes.
Won't ever have been reopened. I hope it won't ever have been reopened. So,
won't ever have been reopened.
Won't ever have.
I don't know if we would use the. I don't know if we would use the future perfect for won't ever have though. Because if you're using, that's like in the course of.
Well, it's like will never have been reopened, won't ever have been reopened. It's the same.
But are you still using a time?
This is how confusing
Won't
English is.
ever have
that we're debating.
You could have a debate on.
I'm going to try and write it. We'll see if it.
Will never be. I would say will never be reopened. I just. Won't ever be reopened. Then that's
Oh,
not
no,
future
I meant to do future perfect. Won't ever. Oh, I can't write, guys. Won't ever.
Oh, I see. In the sense of
Won't.
we will never reach a state in a future point in time.
Yeah.
Where we can say.
Or it will never have been.
It won't ever have been reopened. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Even in thousands of years.
Yes, that's a way of not
At no
using
point in the future.
Yeah. At no point in the future will we ever reach a state in time where we can say.
It's a strange. It's not a sentence. It's not a
bizarre,
common structure.
It makes sense.
I think it's grammatically correct.
I just would far more readily. I think in conversation you would probably just
use the future simple.
It will never be reopened, or the future. Yeah, the future simple, but it's still in. I think it's the passive also that's confusing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So Filippo's example was particularly good because he's written it to us in the passive, which is great.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh.
I will have met in my life. But by no, it's also so
it needs to be a point in the future. So your life so far, Antonio, is now. So we would just use the present perfect rather than the future perfect. I don't know how many English teachers I have met in my life so far.
Yeah, you need a future marker there. Yeah.
You need to imagine a point in the future. You don't know how many English teachers you will have met
in your life by
2025.
By 2025 or in 25 years time.
Yeah.
Yes, as well.
Yeah. So we need to take a point in the future and then look back to now and imagine something happening.
No, just by in
my life so far means today. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Bye, Tony. Oh, we need to stop in a minute.
Yes. No, just to go. So far is up until the present moment. See you, Tony. Yeah. So far is up until the present moment. By is again. Well, it could be. You could by now. You could say
by now.
For also is the present moment. But if you're saying by a future point, then we're using the future perfect.
Yes. I think when we use by with a time phrase, it means before.
Yeah.
So you could use
it in all tenses by.
Yeah. But, and when we use it with a time marker, it means before.
Yes. But so far is always present. Now. Is always present.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a present marker. Yeah.
So my life so far is my life until this point now. I hope that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange to speak to a computer. We have no reaction to understand if the students if we are making sense or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yes. we have to finish. It was very nice to meet you guys.
Some great examples, yeah. And I hope.
Maybe I hope this distracted you.
Yes.
We're talking about nuclear apocalypse, not
Yes.
anything
Yeah.
closer to home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.